What is going on, people? Welcome to the Halloween episode.
You sound muffled as a motherfucker,
No,
dog.
man, but I look scary as fuck.
You do.
Yeah. You look a fucking joke, dog.
Scary as a joke.
Does it look bad with the beard and the mask?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the last time you wore that. I remember you wearing the costume, and I don't remember your chin sticking out like that.
Yeah, I think I didn't have the beard before. That's why.
I can see your chin too, though.
I think I wore it
Did
lower.
you must have worn it lower or something? There you go. There it is.
Yeah, but now I can't see.
Something's changed.
Something's changed. Wait, my head grew in size? Is that what you're trying
Your
to say?
head got taller, dude.
Yeah, there you go, man.
Anyways, welcome to the Halloween episode of the Top Tier Podcast.
Why did you take that off already?
Because you said I sound and look terrible.
No. Put it on.
No, it's really hot in there, dude, and it smells like fucking latex.
You got me looking like an asshole now. I'm the only one wearing something.
No, you're Tom DeLonge from Blink-182, man. You look great.
He's never looked better. Tom
Beautiful.
DeLonge.
Anyways, this is episode 69. Holy shit.
At least put your hands on the table, man.
We're all supposed to be in
There
costume.
you go.
Anyways, my name is Brendan.
It's like one of the first rules is you don't put your hands on the table.
Don't handle it.
And don't put your elbows on the
Yo,
table.
put your hands on the table.
I'm
dog.
doing.
Second episode of the season. Yo, put your hands on the table, man. See your hands, son.
Rules out the fucking window. Who cares? My name is Brendan. You can find me on the YouTubes at youtube.com/Retel Factor. You can also find this show, the Top Tier Podcast, on youtube.com/Top Tier Podcast. We're also on iTunes, it's not Spotify. We can probably get on Spotify, but we're on SoundCloud and every other podcast service. Joining me today, we have Whitney the Siren Santos,
Wow.
Tom DeLonge,
Dacia.
and straight out of El Salvador and into the Top Tier Podcast, Benjamin Espinoza.
Woo!
Now, this is the...
That's lame. Okay.
Let's go. Take it back to Buenos noches, man.
Yeah, maybe.
Now, this is the and off camera, we have Billy.
Hype
Last
man,
and least.
Hype man Billy.
Billy Quinn.
Off cam and off mic, so let's not even acknowledge him. So this is the Halloween episode of the Top Tier Podcast. We're going to try to keep and do everything, all things spooky for this episode.
Spooky.
Anyways, I just last week, I forced Chriselle to sit through the 1978 original Halloween, John Carpenter. Fucking classic. She did not like it.
Because she felt it was dated, or because she thought it was boring, or what?
Was it scary?
Well, she's, it's one of those things, she's like, hey, Chriselle, let's watch this movie. Okay, right? She's on her phone the whole time, man.
Yo, kids these days, put your phone down.
She's on her phone the whole time.
I hate
She's
that shit,
playing her
man.
games.
Hate it.
And it wasn't like it's not a hard movie to follow, right? So if it was like an intricate plot, then I would be super annoyed. But it's the movie is admittedly like it's from 1978, right? The movie's over 30 years old. It's old as fuck. It's almost 40 years old. By next year, it'll be 40 years old. So it's like I think it's a classic. I don't think it's scary though because it's so old. But man, the movie is really, really good, and also it's kicked off every horror movie cliche, like like the camera from the killer's perspective, and everything from like the phone call, just where there was just breathing on the other end. Like Halloween started all that shit.
Yeah, including the dark people getting killed first.
Well, no, they took it one further. There's none in the movie at all.
There you go.
What about the shower scenes? Is that in there?
That probably went back.
That's
That was
Psycho.
Psycho though.
Yeah, well, that's
way
Psycho.
longer,
That was in
yeah.
the 60s.
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock. Come on, Whitney.
That
I know
Hitchcock.
she's too young.
Yo, man.
Sure, the scariest movie she's ever seen is probably like
Whitney the baby Santos.
I'm not a
Paranormal
baby.
Activity.
That shit's scary. I get scared real easily.
But that first one was good. The first time I saw that shit.
Like I gotta give credit to where credit is due. The first Paranormal Activity was actually not bad. Like it's
Sexually not bad.
Sexually not bad.
That's what I heard. It's like what?
last episode it was
Paranormal
Activity. what was it? Conserge.
Conserge.
Now is sexually not that bad.
It's episode
It's,
69 Retel
this
with
is episode
Paranormal
69.
Activity.
It's sexually not that bad. Sexually not that bad.
Paranormal Activities, everyone. Sexually not
Oh
bad.
my gosh.
But Paranormal Activity didn't start the found footage kind of movie thing, but it's like the one that like super like popularized it like in the last 10 years. I want to say obviously like Blair Witch is probably the first.
They did it first, but you know.
But I mean, after Paranormal, it was like
Blair Witch
just
sucked.
fucking nonstop, dude. It was crazy. But have you guys seen the original Blair Witch?
Yeah, it was meh.
No.
You haven't?
I didn't see it.
Dude, it's a tough movie to get through.
Well, you
I've
know,
seen
I saw it as a kid and I like
Yeah.
hated it.
Really? Because the thing is like there's no scares in that movie until the very end.
Yeah.
Right? And like the payoff I thought was pretty big. Like it gave me goosebumps and stuff.
Really?
Like I don't know, I thought it was
I
scary,
was like
man.
bored, man.
But well, no, the very ending though.
Yeah, but
The
still,
end-
yeah, like the house and everything.
Yeah, and then you go downstairs
he's
and you
got his
see
face to the
in
wall
the
and
corner and
everything,
all
yeah,
that, just
yeah.
like the story that they were telling
Yeah,
earlier
it
in
was
the
just like,
in the movie.
it was
But-
more interesting at that point, but it's still like I just
I think it's worth watching just to say that you've seen it. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It was such a phenomenon. It was really like the first of its kind of like genre.
Well, they brought it back because it was back, I think, in the 70s, where I can't remember what these movies were called, but the problem with them, I can't remember. This is bad. I should have done my homework on it. But it is relatively new, yes, like for our time. But I think it goes back to the 70s, where they were doing a lot of movies like this, but a lot of the things they were doing
They were
were
like-
actually illegal. Like,
Yeah, well,
like people were getting killed and like skewered.
They were called like snuff films or exploitation films.
Yeah,
and,
they had another name too, but yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely those.
Well,
as
like
well.
one of the movies that I've never seen, but it's held in like such like it's like so infamous is a movie called Cannibal Holocaust.
That's the one. Yep.
And I absolutely refuse to watch this movie, and I fucking hate this movie because they kill actual animals in the movie.
What?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
No.
No.
Then why didn't they?
Well, no, I think
Well, I
because
think
of
they
this movie,
yeah.
because of this movie,
It was
then
like one of the
laws
first
came
ones
in,
to-
like
yeah.
laws like kicked in saying like you can't abuse of animals.
People are fucked up
Never
in
heard
this
this.
world.
You've never heard of Cannibal
Tell me
Holocaust?
No,
more.
I haven't.
Tell me more. What else? Like,
Tell me more.
Well, it's like I've never seen it, so I can't really give you a plot synopsis on it. But the reason why it's so infamous and why personally I refuse to watch it and I fucking hate it is because they kill animals. And I mean, I guess the gist of it is like it's like one of those movies where like a tribe captures some like tourists or whatever, and the tribe I guess does some like sacrificial killings of animals, and it's actually real. So it's really fucked up, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean the whole purpose of these movies, I guess like horror movies now, but it's all the shock factor
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust was not the first. Like there was a few movies before that, but they just kept like upping the ante on it. Like they just kept going further and further and
I
further.
didn't hear about this phenomenon. Yeah, I just didn't know about the specific films that they made.
Because I love horror movies. It's like my favorite genre. Like even though so many of them are bad, it's kind of part of the charm. But this is one of those movies, and that whole '70s era of just like all those movies that are just go way too far and do stuff just for the shock value. That was never my cup of tea. I love '80s horror movies, especially like they're super cheesy now, but they scared me as a kid. Like the slasher movies, like the Jasons and the Freddys and Michael Myers and all that stuff.
Truth be told, as a kid, I mean, a lot of things scared. Like, you guys are gonna laugh, but Mortal Kombat, for example, I loved it, but it spooked me.
Really?
So legit, like you can tell, like I didn't do horror movies as a kid, and even now, like I don't care for them. I just, I really don't, and they don't scare me anymore. But I just don't care for them. But Get Out was legit the first like horror movie that I've seen, but I loved. Like it's been my favorite movie this year, to be honest.
Really?
Like Get Out
Get
was,
Out? Like-
was phenomenal.
Like Get Out's good. I wouldn't even like. It's almost more of a thriller.
But I mean, absolutely, and it's
Yeah.
sort of, like it's not just a horror movie. It's
No,
not
yeah,
like a slasher or whatever.
'Cause
There's
also
more to
there's
it.
tons of dark humor in there too. It's
But and rightly so. That's why I liked it so much. But
Right.
I mean, again, for me, it was something completely different. Where it's just like, oh dang, because it does have its moments where it's just like, what is going on?
yeah.
And
Have you seen it?
no, I haven't.
Oh.
Yeah,
You'd
it
like
it admittedly has been a pretty good year for horror movies because generally, like in the last couple of decades, dude, horror has been bad.
Yeah.
And I hate because I'm such a fan of like the '80s horror movies and stuff and like the classics. And then to see the genre, like there's just everything's just so cheap and so bad. You can tell like horror movies are a lot of people's first films that they make because they're so cheap and they're low risk and they generally pay out well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you look at like
They're very
Saw
low
is
risk,
probably
yeah.
one of the best examples of that because
man.
Saw is like the first
But
movie.
the first, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
The first movie really kind of takes place mainly inside of that one room, so it was a very low cost production, right? And that movie, is probably one of the best horror movies in the last
Yeah.
20 years. Because
Yeah.
I think the movie's brilliant. I love Saw 1. But
Yeah.
they milked that shit into
Yeah,
the
it
ground.
sucks because of that. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like it's getting overshadowed by all these shitty Saw films.
It's true,
People
and-
forget how good the first one actually was.
Exactly, yeah.
But what do you do, right? Like, if you're making money, like, and you still feel like you're being creative.
Yeah. And like
Like-
those Saw movies, every single one made money. Like I don't think
Yeah.
any of them bombed, dude. Like they were all like yearly. It was like an annual thing. The
But-
Saw movie came out, right?
But it was brilliant. I mean, again, the first one was amazing, and then every year it was just like, okay, Halloween, this is
Yeah.
the thing, this is tradition. So like,
I think that was like one of their taglines for a little while. You know, it's Halloween when blah blah blah
Yeah.
Saw or whatever, some bullshit like that. But now Jigsaw is coming out.
Yeah,
They're
Right.
they're bringing it back.
bringing it back.
Bringing it back. I'm not gonna watch it.
Me neither.
Do you know what? Because like I was like totally not interested after because you know Saw 1 was so good in my opinion because it had a fucking great plot, dude, and it it was really like kept you engaged. And truth be told, the first Saw had very little gore. Like it was like the violence was very minimal. Sure, the dude cuts off his fucking leg in the movie.
like,
Spoilers.
again, the
But-
payoff, but that's the payoff of it.
But it's like that's it. Then it just became gross out gore. Like
I
I'm
can't
just-
watch it, man.
I'm not into that. Like I love horror and I hate gross out gore movies.
Yeah.
Like
Makes
dude,
me sick.
grease out
Grease
gore.
out
Grease
gore.
out
Sad.
gore.
And like Eli Roth's movies, like I fucking like
Yeah.
Hostel and stuff. I was like,
Yeah,
and they were Green
so
Inferno.
much.
It's like
Yeah.
How
Green
about-
Inferno, very inspired by Cannibal Holocaust, right? Just I can't do it, man.
It's just like,
I
why?
don't
Why?
What are you guys' favorite horror movies?
I love The Conjuring, man. The first Conjuring.
James Wan, back at
Okay,
it.
it's so good. I really enjoyed the Evil Dead remake too.
Yeah,
like that. There's a lot of gore in that, but like I thought it was like it was really good.
because we watched it. Me and
Yeah.
you, we watched it in theaters when it came out, and I don't like gross out gore because I love horror movies, but I'm squeamish,
Yeah.
and I can't handle if there's too much shit going on the screen. Like I'm just like, oh no, and I like. There's this one scene in Evil Dead where I don't know, I don't want to get into too graphic detail, but a guy's getting hit with a hammer and he's trying to stop it with his hand,
Yeah.
and his hand gets all split apart, dude. And I'm just like,
yeah,
and dude, I had to close my eyes and kind of like,
I was just like, oh shit.
yeah.
I was like, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. Like I'm so fucking squeamish. We went to go out, me and Chriselle went and watched Doctor Strange, and then he.
No way.
Yo, I'm dead serious. And he got into a car accident, and,
Hands were all
Yeah.
and his hands got all messed up, and it looks really. It was
Yeah.
it was gross.
It was well done.
It was
well
gross.
done.
It was well done. It was realistic. And the big problem is I've watched it in this thing called D-Box, right?
It's so good.
and and the mix of this, and Billy's backing up behind
Billy's
me.
listening in the
And he's,
background.
he's making faces at me and shit. And he, I went and watched Doctor Strange. So it was the combination of the fucking of his fucked up hands, and then during the car crash scene that had happened, during the car crash scene, especially if you guys don't know what D-Box is, basically you're in a seat that moves depending
Along
on
with the movie, yeah.
what's happening on
You
the
had the
screen.
settings
right?
on max too.
I was like, yeah, I'm paid like $10 extra for this. I'm turning it all the way on. and this car crash happens. It's tossing me around, right?
Oh my God.
And then you see his fucked up hands, and I'm just, and no joke, to Chriselle, I'm just like, I had to step out. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to just close my eyes and breathe, dude. I had to step out. I walk go to the bathroom, and I looked at my face, and I'm fucking pale. Dude, I'm sweating profusely.
My God.
Yo, Disney,
And
you
I'm-
listening?
And I'm just looking at
You're listening to this Disney? Tone it down.
and I'm just looking at myself in the mirror, just like straight out of 8 Mile. Right? It's all pissed.
Eminem? You see Eminem?
Mom's spaghetti. Did I almost threw up. And
That's good.
it was like I was just like, man, I'm a little bitch right now. That's the only thing I could think. I was like, man,
I
I
was
really,
gonna say it, but yeah.
I really can't handle this.
No, well, yeah, true. So for me, the last time I got, I usually don't. I mean, what messes me up, I mean, definitely what you mentioned, like the hammer. I haven't seen that, but that would really upset me. But for me, what does it is like surgical procedures.
Oh,
Really?
When they're
God.
just like, precise cutting and whatnot, like that, like for example, Inglorious Bastards.
Bastards. Great
like,
movie.
Just like when the swastikas are being written in the
Yeah.
forehead. The first time I saw that,
It's
I was
pretty
just
gross,
like,
yeah.
"Ooh, this like that does it for me."
Because it's so-
because I do like
so
like
deep,
the,
dude.
the skin and then the skull, like
Yeah.
it's just right there, so you know that he's getting
He's getting in there,
Carved in
dude.
that skull too. So it's like when you know that, it's just like, oh, you can really feel it.
And
And it's just like,
Because it's not thick skin on
Yeah,
your
exactly,
forehead,
yeah.
man.
And it's a close up. Like again, it's like it's
for
fake,
effect. It's used for
but-
effect.
But just when you get absorbed in the movie, I mean, the effects are wonderful. But I mean, spoiler.
It's all practical too, man.
I mean, this is old news, but spoiler alert. Legit, what got me super squeamish was Walking Dead, Glenn's death.
See, I
that-
didn't even watch it, dude.
That like I saw that and I was legitimately grossed out. Like I almost stopped watching it right then and there because just of how disgusting.
How do you die? Can you?
Bat
It
to
takes
the
a-
head.
Yeah.
Oh, I
you
saw
get-
that.
yeah.
I saw a clip of that, and I was like,
And his eye pops out and
yeah.
shit.
But that's what's messed up. Like his eye, like it looks fake, yeah, but his eye is just bulging out, and then he's still speaking.
Ugh.
And it's not just for like a second; it's for like maybe like 30 seconds of dialogue.
And
Like, it's just like
People were
oh.
upset about that when that happened too, and
Yeah.
I think what makes it so much more difficult and why people took it so much more to heart is because he was obviously a favorite character
Yeah.
that people have known for years. To see something like that so traumatic happen to him, it's like
It was disgraceful.
it's crazy, yeah. And people were pissed. And dude, I'm telling you, that show had a huge drop off after that.
yeah, I stopped watching it because
Yeah.
of that. And
My-
it was
Chris
because,
too.
you know, like, I get it from like the comics and why they're in the comics, but like for the show, I'm like, you didn't need to do it for the show. Like
Yeah.
you didn't need to get there at that point. The show was still successful. You didn't need to like shock the viewers and try to like reignite the thing. Like it didn't need to happen at that point.
Take the bat to his head, so be it. But like
And-
just the visual of it
It's
was
so bad.
Just in my opinion, like, you know, The Walking Dead, like the way, like I don't even watch the show, but I know how, like, because it's such a hot topic and, you know, everyone's talking about it. You know, I know that they ended one of their seasons by, okay, which character he's going to kill. And you got to wait however many months. That's such a cheap fucking gimmick.
Yeah, yeah.
That's such cheap
It did-
storytelling,
it did
dude.
get, It did get a lot cheaper new then. That's why I stopped. But that episode in particular too was just so bad. Like it was
Really?
just a shitty episode. Like structurally, like the story, like it's just like everything. I was like, why are they doing this episode like this? It was just like full of flashbacks and like it was just like a shitty episode.
It's not good
for
storytelling,
for
dude.
a season premiere of this like new season. I was just like, man, this episode sucks. And then they do that shit, and I'm just like, I'm fucking done with the show.
That's too bad.
Yeah, sucks.
Yeah, man. That's a cheap gimmick to keep people.
Yeah.
It's not nice to your fans. You
No.
know, doesn't do the character any justice too. It's like people were pissed.
So that's why it's great. I was actually happy for Steven Yeun to be out of that show because he's been doing some good stuff since. So it's like, you know. Anyways, it is really dope too, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone
To
says
the
that.
horror, yeah.
Everyone says it. It's good.
Like I didn't find it scary. 'Cause I don't find that kind of thing
Yeah,
scary.
yeah.
But like there was a lot of great imagery that was like really creepy, and the cinematography is great. The kids in it were great. Just like the overall storytelling of it was. It's just like it was great.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
Yeah.
I watched the movie. I didn't find it scary at all. Like, there's some parts that make you a little tense. You know, there's not an overabundance of scares or jump scares, which I appreciate. It's just like a good movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was like a solid film.
Like, I think if there's, you know, the one criticism I have is just like so many horror movies, like in these days, they just focus on the gore and the gross kills, and it's just like and the jump scares. Let's just focus on making a good movie
Yeah,
first.
let's have a good story.
Let's
like
have a good
solid
story, good
plot.
movie, good
Yeah.
acting. You know,
Yeah.
and worry about if you do that, then you know it's better than
Yeah, it's
just
like even
fucking
if people
a
aren't
good
scared,
jump
like
scare.
they'll have a good time
Yeah.
at theater and be invested, right? And it's just
Exactly.
like, yeah.
But yeah, no, really good movie. The kid from Stranger Things is in that movie. Fucking cracked me up, dude.
He's so funny.
He's so funny. Stranger Things, season 2.
Two.
Season
I'm
two.
so
It's like a
excited
week
for
away.
that.
Yeah, soon.
It's a week. Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
a-
because
it
of
comes out on the
Yeah.
27th, dude. I
Yeah.
was so
I'm
stoked.
ready.
That's
Okay,
less than a
dope.
week
Yeah,
away.
You know,
yeah.
like October 27th, no joke. It might be one of the biggest days of like entertainment
For sure.
in history across like all platforms. Like you got like Stranger Things 2 is coming out, season 2. Then the new Mario Odyssey game comes out same day. New Assassin's Creed game comes out same day. Wolfenstein game comes out same day. Like it's insane. It's like
It's a lot going
I
on.
love being a nerd, man. It's the
And you
best.
got Thor Ragnarok on the second.
Oh wow, that's coming out
Yeah,
that soon.
yeah.
Oh, I want to see
No
that.
joke. Like I'm
Been
actually
getting great reviews.
I'm really excited for Thor Ragnarok because I like the first two. Is like okay, they're not bad.
I like the first one a lot. The second one was whack as hell. But the first
Which
one
one
I
happened
really
in the
enjoyed.
second one again? Is what we're
It's
like.
the one with the dark elves or whatever.
The
and-
dark elves,
and,
yeah.
Natalie
Yeah.
Portman gets whatever with the. I don't know.
I still want to see it. I haven't
whack.
seen it. Like,
The second one?
but I mean, Thor. The first one, I loved it until he went to Earth. Like when he was chilling, when he was
I don't
chilling,
care about Kat Dennings or Natalie
I
Portman.
didn't. I really didn't. Like,
But that's the worst part. Is like there's so much Kat Dennings in the second one, and she's just so annoying.
Yeah.
Like I loved it when he was chilling with his homies. I was like, holy crap, this movie's so underrated. Like I'm loving every second of this. And then like the rest of it, I was just like, oh, this is
Actually, because
lame.
like there were so many great scenes too, just between like Tom Hiddleston as Loki and then Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Like they
I was about to
just had
say,
so
like
many great scenes.
they have so many great actors, like Idris Elba's fucking Heimdall is like they're not even
because you had like
barely
Kenneth
being
Branagh,
used, dude.
like directing the film, and he's like a theater guy, you know, and he's like, so he had all these great actors doing these like great work, which was so overlooked by people who just wanted to see Thor. But for me, like knowing about all this stuff, I was just like so into it.
Yeah.
So.
So I'm part of the problem, is what you're saying.
But the second one was just like I don't know what the fuck.
Like, I've seen
they had to make a second one. Is what it
like
felt like.
I've seen every one just because I'm invested in the MCU, and I feel like you really do need to watch all the movies, which is kind of like a fault of the MCU. But
I don't know.
Sounds
There's
like
so
it.
many movies there's so many movies I
Really?
haven't seen, and I feel I'm well caught up. Like the Iron Mans, I saw the first one. Thor, I only saw the first one.
it's funny because Iron Man, it probably has Iron Man 1 is probably one of the best MCU movies, but 2 and 3 are some of the worst MCU movies. They really fucked those up like bad. But Ragnarok is like I'm really stoked that they're taking almost like cues from Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks super like 80s sci-fi, and it looks
So good.
it looks
It's
awesome.
colorful.
Nostalgia is
It's
real.
nice, colorful. It looks beautiful. It looks exciting. Like, and I mean, you see Thor completely get broken. Like, it's just like, what's going on here?
Because like the whole cosmic side of the MCU, which is how they're like going, it's like it's gonna be hard for people to really get into that. So for it to not take itself seriously and just to be silly, it's like it's a really smart approach. It's
But
awesome.
I was gonna mention that though. I mean, because we've like for a while we had all these like commercials or trailers, whatever you want to call them, of Thor just like messing around, like just not taking themselves seriously, and it's just like prepping us for it. And I mean, it's smart color. It's like smart.
A Thor Hulk buddy cop movie. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
How about that Black Panther 2?
Have you guys seen
trailer,
that?
the second trailer?
Yeah,
It's
it
so
looks
good.
pretty
Seen
epic.
it.
You haven't seen the second trailer? Oh my
looks
god,
really
dude!
good.
I was like, how are you gonna beat that first trailer? But this one, I was just like, whoa.
Well, this is like it was like a long trailer too. I was like, holy shit!
It was,
Michael B. Jordan's
solid.
like huge.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, he's jacked.
Jack. We got Jack for Creed, and he just stayed that way. Last Jedi, dude. That second Last
yeah.
Jedi trailer. Oh my
That
god.
looks
yeah.
good.
I couldn't. I was like,
Some people are like pissed. They're like, oh man, they showed too much.
dude.
Me personally, I don't care about.
People think they know the
spoilers
film
or
now,
whatever,
but it's like, no, you don't know.
Yeah.
This is Disney, man. They know what they're
Disney
doing.
Lucas, they're like, they're not fucking around like that.
Yeah.
And man,
It's misdirection, man. That's what it is.
I'm so stoked. I got my tickets opening night for Star Wars in Disney World. It's gonna be so
That's
sick.
gonna be good.
It's pretty amazing.
Or I mean, since we're talking about movie trailers, bringing it back to horror, also to do with superheroes. Do you see New Mutants?
No.
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever.
But it looks like bizarre. Like it's like
it's
what
supposed
the
to be
fuck?
like it's supposed to be like a trilogy of like X-Men horror movies. But,
Yeah.
but I thought it looked kind of whack. I just kind
It does like like
I like the idea of it.
like the idea, but I
you know.
mean, we didn't really see that much.
Yeah.
I guess like I want to see another
Maybe we'll see a
trailer,
better
but I will
trailer,
watch it when it comes out.
Yeah, I'll definitely watch it because I'm intrigued, but I didn't.
You know, like
think it looked
I
all
like
that
a lot of
great.
the cast. They got Jonathan from Stranger Things.
Plus, like
interesting. I
wanna see
you got
this
Arya.
They got Arya. They got
And
Maisie
Squirrel Girl or
Williams.
whatever.
Is that who she is? Squirrel
Yeah.
Girl?
But it's like, I don't know. It's like I've been so disenchanted by the X-Men movies in general, like fucking Fox.
They're
Like-
bad, dude.
Yeah.
Like they had Days of Future Past, which was pretty good,
Mm.
which was decent, and it fixed a lot of the problems with like X3. But
Yeah.
dude, Apocalypse, I watched it. I put off watching it for so long.
I watched it on Netflix, and,
And
it was just yeah.
No, I said yeah.
I was like, what the?
I
I watched it in Hawaii, like when it was just on cable, and it was like late at night, and I watched it. I was like, holy shit, this movie's ass. This movie's
It
so
felt
bad.
like a shitty like TV show.
Yeah.
You know, like a long episode of a shitty TV show.
It's too bad because
what
they
it
have
felt
such a
like.
great cast. We're
Anyways.
supposed to be talking about horror, but we're
Yeah, those X-Men movies are horror. Okay.
Oh my god.
Santos, what's your favorite horror movie?
I don't like horror movies. My mom would force me to watch them with her. I can't.
Your mom
I
forced
can't.
you to?
She's like, sit down, we're gonna watch this.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's
Is that why you don't like them?
I can't, man. I just get too scared. Like I remember we were watching Insidious, and I was with my little brother. We were sitting on the couch watching it with my mom, and you know that first scene Bear makes fun of it looks like Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, I saw that, I freaked out, I started crying, and my little brother started crying.
The first time you see him?
Because it's
Like
when
when it pops
Insidious
up
one
inside?
when he was right
Yeah.
behind Patrick Wilson.
That part
Yeah.
was scary, man.
Because you don't know, it's so random. It's such a random place for a jump
Yeah,
scare. You know what I mean?
It's scary,
And the Insidious one that came out in like what 2010. So you must have been like what 13.
Oh my god.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you
you're a
serious?
baby.
No, Wait.
That was 7 years ago.
How old were you? What? 7 years
How old
ago.
are you now?
Old
24?
Old enough. Old enough for what?
22.
To party.
You're only 22?
Yeah.
So you were 15. I was only 2 years off. I thought I was lowballing it. Holy shit.
I was like 15.
I was only a
I
little
thought you
bit
were
off.
like 24.
I wish I was a little older.
Yeah, no. No, 22 is a great age.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel great.
You got so much to live for.
Like what? Tell me something.
It gets
Yeah.
better. It gets better as
No,
you
like-
get older.
In my younger years, my mom would make me watch like Jeepers Creepers, like
Jeepers Creepers. Damn, it was like a 2002. Like, is that the one on the school bus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's with, like,
Yeah.
Justin Long.
Oh,
She
Justin Long was in
Yeah.
that, dude.
that shit scared me because like the wall had like just people
Yeah.
sewn together. I was
Yeah.
like,
It's pretty. It's
I
a
was
good
fucking
one.
It wasn't
Scared.
terrible.
Good one.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
it's a
lie.
good
It
one.
wasn't bad
I was
for like a
scared, man.
2002 like
Scared
slasher.
for like a month.
Jeepers
Those were
Creepers
dark-
3 is
Those are
happening.
bad
Yeah.
movie. Like 2002, those early 2000, they had bad horror movies,
Yeah.
dude.
Like
They
House
were
of
not
Wax.
Ugh.
Fuck, it was Paris Hilton. That
Yeah,
movie.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You know, no joke. Me and Billy just watched Sharknado.
What?
Have you guys ever watched
No.
I
Sharknado?
saw
Yeah, you didn't
Sharknado
call-
a
I
long
want to
time
watch
ago,
it.
Is it
I-
good?
You know what, it was
It's
like-
funny.
I
I
watched
mean,
the
you watch
first
it
5
for
minutes. I watched the
entertainment.
first 5 minutes.
There was, like-
but that was it.
It came out in like 2013 or something like that first one, and it was like a quote unquote phenomenon for a little bit. It was not phenomenon, but it was popular because it was so bad. It was like it's one of those things where it's like it's so bad it's good, and that sounds like it would be something that's right up my alley because I love B-level horror movies, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it a fair shake. We watched it Thanksgiving while the turkey was cooking, right? And it was just bad. I like Billy. Was it bad?
It's pretty bad, but I'm gonna chime in here. It's actually not like I thought it was enjoyable for what it was because they knew. It was
You
fucking
know
bad.
what you're getting into
Yeah.
when you watch
Yeah.
that.
And
Well,
they knew, like the actors knew. They're like, this is fucking garbage, but we're gonna fucking play with it.
Like no one's going into it thinking, oh man, we're gonna make fucking Citizen Kane. This
Yeah.
shit's gonna be hype, But
Isn't Jaleel White in that?
no, Tara Reid's in it.
No, yeah, but is Jaleel White in it too?
Who's Jaleel White?
Steve Urkel.
No, not this. Not in the
Was it?
first one.
Okay, is he another one?
Oh, well, I mean, if
Oh,
you look,
no, he's in a different.
dude, if you
shark
look at
movie.
yeah,
Never mind,
well, the thing is, so they make Sharknado, and then oh shit, it's popular. They made like 5 more, dude.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
And like, Billy's like, yo, we gotta watch the next one. Frankie Muniz is in it. I'm just like, yo, you're not selling it, first of all. And how low has Frankie Muniz sunk, man? I
No,
felt
he was
bad
the
for that
third
guy.
one. He was
Yeah,
the
he-
third
Was in
one.
the third
Yeah,
one?
Oh, man.
he started in the middle, now he's at the bottom. Dude.
It was like,
It's
dude, because
unfortunate.
Frankie Muniz, that guy was making bank, dude. He must have been dumb with his money, because he's on Dancing with the Stars and shit now.
I think maybe his
That's
parents
crazy.
made bank, not him.
Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
It's true.
I don't know how that works, but I just remember like when Malcolm in the Middle was like a huge thing, right? And like I saw like the clips of him. He's like driving fancy cars and shit, and he was like he's being frivolous with his money, so
Yeah.
he's probably broke as hell now.
That's
But-
a good show though.
It was.
Malcolm in the Middle, yo, Bryan Cranston,
Cranston.
dude.
Well, it's the prequel, right? To
To Breaking Bad. Yeah, it is.
So your parents forced you to watch, or your mom forced you to watch horror movies, and that's
Yes.
why you don't like them now?
I can't. I just got too scared.
Because it's so funny because it almost had like the opposite effect on me because my dad forced me to watch. I don't know if you guys ever heard of The Omen, but there was 3
I've
of them.
heard of it.
There was The Omen 1, 2, and 3, and they were like, they were 70s horror movies. They're not really that great, but they were popular. And he would make me. They were on back to back to back, and he made us marathon.
Oh my
You know,
god.
and straight up, that shit scared the shit out of me, dude. That shit scared the shit out of me. Like, basically, the point of The Omen is like the guy has a son, and it's like the son of the devil, right? And he's got like a 666 on the back of his head, and
What the?
his name was Damien.
Damien.
Damien was the name of his son, and and Damien was a little fucked up kid, man. He would just go around he'd like kill people. He would just will it, and it would just happen.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was really fucked up, and like that. Those movies scared me, and like Friday the 13th scared the shit out of me, and like even like I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil scared the shit out of me as a kid, and I think the reason why I like them so much today is because they did scare the shit out of me. I don't know. It had like the opposite effect on me.
I don't know, man. I'm too scared. I can't. My heart can't handle it. I'll die. I'll actually die. I'll be like that lady who died when she saw it.
Somebody died when they saw it.
Yeah, there was like an article on it.
I did not
I
know
mean,
about
Don't
that.
quote me
I
on
wonder, I
it.
wonder if that is real though.
I think that's just what so many people go and watch the movies every single day. that's a statistic. It's bound to happen. You know what I
Probably just
mean?
had high
Pure
cholesterol.
accident.
Someone's
probably
bound
really
to.
old.
Go,
So coincidental.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
she
might-
died. She's so scared.
That in the
She
theater.
had high cholesterol, went there and got the extra butter on the popcorn. And it was the butter did her in, not it.
Now, like my mom's watched she always tries to get me to watch movies with her, like The Human Centipede. She watched the first one.
See, I'm not
the
down
second.
for that kind of shit.
I'm not
That's,
either.
that's fucked up.
Yeah, it is
Like,
fucked up.
it
I mean,
Like-
that movie was just shock. I mean, it
Wait,
was
your
good.
mom likes Human Centipede?
Well, she watched it, but now she's now she's a Christian. She's like,
Okay.
I don't like scary movies anymore. I'm like, what is this bullshit? What is this bullshit, Mom? You made me go through my childhood watching this, and now you're like, no, I can't anymore. Like, what?
What is that impression?
It's my mom impression.
That's
Do you have
so
an
good.
accent?
She has a really Bear makes fun of it all the time. He's like, oh no, Whitney. Like, I'll tell Bear to. do it when you guys are around.
He'll voice clip it and we'll send it. Basically, all my favorite horror movies are like the classic. They're like modern ones. There's very few, man.
Yeah.
There's like you can count them on one hand. But like if you look at the 80s horror movies, like The Shining, The Thing, like everything John Carpenter did was fucking just
The thing was great.
miles above everything that's
I
out today.
haven't seen The
Shining?
Thing.
The Shining, yeah.
thought
Well,
it was
no,
Stanley
I know
Kubrick.
that was Stanley Kubrick, but I'm just saying also
Gotcha, gotcha.
As well as.
as well as.
In addition to.
In addition to, but Stanley Kubrick, his movies are really rewatchable because he hides so much shit. You should watch like stuff on The Shining because there's so many
There's a lot, yeah.
there's so many little things hidden in there, and like there's people have gone so far down the rabbit hole on that movie with like conspiracy theories and stuff,
Totally.
and they think that like Stanley Kubrick like hid like secrets that he actually faked the moon landing in there and stuff like that. It's like you can go far down the rabbit hole. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, there's
That's
lots of theories.
nuts.
And there's just a lot of random stuff like the kid in The Shining, he has like who was wearing like a rocket ship or whatever. He's like, oh, that's proof that Stanley Kubrick fucking faked the moon landing with the American government and blah blah blah. And yeah, it's crazy.
Holy shit, these movies.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen The Shining. That's one movie. That's a horror movie I do want to watch, but because I love Stanley Kubrick's work, I really do. I love it.
Dude, Jack Nicholson kills it in that movie. Dude.
Well, yeah, that's what the movie's about. Like I haven't seen it, and I know that. But yeah, I want. I mean, for many reasons, I want to watch it. But the actress for that, I mean, apparently she just like had a complete breakdown or whatever, or like point is she never worked again with Stanley Kubrick. She was just like
Wow.
There was some shit with
there
her.
was
and,
lots of
like,
controversy with like just like
should we look it up?
Yes.
Kubrick was known to be intense,
But
too.
yeah, exactly.
You know?
But I mean, it shows in his work. I mean,
Mm.
yeah, it was just insane.
What was the name of her? Something
I don't
Duval?
I don't know her name.
While researching, my favorite scary movie is Scary Movie.
Oh my god.
My man, right?
Yo, the Wayans brothers, dude. Okay, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Scary Movie 1 and 2 because
And
they're
2,
actually
yeah.
good, man.
They're actually good.
They're
yeah.
actually really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because not that long ago I put them on, and my girlfriend Chriselle, she'd never seen it, and she was totally into it, man. I was like, I told you. She's
They're
like,
good.
I always thought they were dumb. I was like, 3 and onwards are really bad.
Yeah.
But the first 2 are so good, man.
First two were really funny.
Yeah.
First
no,
2
they're
are so
gold.
good.
Yeah.
I was close. Shelley Duvall is her name, and
Shelly.
serious. This is the problem. Oh, do you know I heard about this? She went on Dr. Phil. This is actually recent.
Love
yeah,
Dr.
like
Phil.
yeah, this is like
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Anyway,
This is
sorry,
like
go on,
very
go on,
recent.
go on,
So
go on.
she so she
No.
she went on Dr. Phil
Plus.
and revealed her serious mental health battle. And I remember reading up a little bit on this, and a lot of people were kind of pissed at Dr. Phil because he were kind of like exploited it, and just for views and just the way he interviewed her and stuff was not really giving her anything constructive. And
Dr. Phil.
fucking Dr. Phil's a hack. First of
He's
all,
a hack.
he's a
You
fucking
heard it here,
hack, dude.
folks. Dr. Phil
He's a
is a
hack.
hack.
I sometimes watch Dr. Phil.
From the
Even according
podcast
to
is
even
getting
according
shut
to her co-star Jack Nicholson, who played her deranged husband in the iconic horror film, Kubrick was a different director when it came to working with Duvall, who played the terrorized Wendy Torrance. So she was claims that Duvall was forced to perform the terrifying bat scene 127 times. The stress of the filming reportedly caused Duvall to grow physically ill.
Notorious for that shit. Like you
And like
yeah.
take so many times.
Nicholson even said that Duvall showed him clumps of her hair which had fallen
Yeah,
out. That's
yeah.
fucked up.
What?
Yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Well, on the bright side, The Shining gave us one of the greatest Simpsons Treehouse of Horror
Yes.
segments
I
of all
remember.
time.
Shinnin'.
So
Dude, the
good.
Shinning was so freaking good.
Oh man.
So funny.
And it's so funny because I was looking at a list. I think IGN did it. They're listing like the best Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, I saw that list.
And
yeah.
dude, every single one is like from basically 93 to 97.
Yeah.
Of course.
They had all the best ones,
Yeah.
dude.
Of course.
I think my favorite segment probably was the Shinning, or like when Homer got abducted and like Kang and Kodos ran
Yeah.
for presidency. So good.
I like when they're eating the kids too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skinner was so funny.
Detention. And dude, the pencil fell off the desk because he's shaking and shit.
Yeah.
It was really good. They all got fat.
So funny.
I love this.
Milhouse falls into the blender.
Oh my god, that was
Surely something will come and save the Simpson children.
Yeah.
No, and it's not horror. Recently, I listened to this podcast called Rabbits, and I won't lie, it freaked me out, especially because I was walking home like late at night, and
What's it called?
Rabbits.
Rabbits.
It's called Rabbits. I mean,
I'm scared already.
I'm just gonna put it out there. Once you get into a few episodes, we could talk more about it because I don't want to ruin the experience at all. But it's a trip. It takes you, at least the first couple episodes, takes you on a wild ride.
Is it like a narrative or like?
Yeah, it's just this girl's friend.
So it's a podcast, but it's like a story.
Sorry, exactly. It's a story, and it is a narrative because, and then yeah, it's a bit of everything, but it's just a story of this girl finding her friend who went missing. So she's trying to get to the bottom of what happened to her friend, and yeah, and then it takes off from there. Again, you can find it on Spotify. I don't know where else it is, but yeah, it again, first couple episodes took me on a ride, and it freaked me out. And again, I'm not into like horror per se or movies, but like so if anyone knows any good podcasts, like just creepy ones,
No, I was about
like
to say.
send it my way.
I got a good one for you. Top tier podcast where we recommend other podcasts. It's one called Lore. Have you heard of it?
Lore.
Lore. It's just called Lore. Lore. Like, and it basically talks about, folklore. And each time, basically, the narrator Aaron Menke will go and he'll kind of delve into one part of folklore from either the States or England or wherever, and he just narrates and he's an author, so he actually has written books. So it's all, and he the way he's written it out is just so clever and it's so good and it's so popular. It's actually just got made into a TV show.
Oh wow.
And it's on Amazon Prime. So if you I have Amazon Prime, so me and Chriselle, we actually just watched the first episode like last week. It's not as good as the podcast.
Oh.
But I am gonna stick with it. There's only like 6 episodes, and I will watch it. I'm gonna give it a fair shake.
Yeah.
But the audio podcast is freaking amazing. So Lore, you guys should check that one out if you want something
Yeah.
spooky
Yeah.
for Halloween.
Halloween.
But it's just lore. It's not story, huh?
It's just lore.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, they
I'll
do.
check it
they
out.
do
I'll check it
tell-
out. I'll check it out. I mean,
They do tell a story, but it's like each episode is its own contained
Right,
thing. It's
right.
not like an overarching narrative.
okay. No. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, no, some of them are super creepy, and like some of them like legit have creeped me the hell out. And I always, I'll listen to them like while I'm walking home late at night. Sometimes I fuck myself over.
It's okay. And I. So
Getting paranoid and shit.
so there's actually also another thing, Rabbits as well. Same title. You could probably find it on YouTube. I mean, but like,
What was it?
it's just like these like what's the word?
They're just rabbits.
It's humans with rabbit heads.
What?
But like, it's so messed up because they talk, but it doesn't match up what they're saying. So they'll be having completely different discussions, and then it's just like shot from one angle.
Is it like a short film?
Yeah, it's a short
Oh.
film, and it's just like there'll be laugh tracks, and it's just very unsettling. I mean, classic
Sure.
David Fincher, but just like very unsettling. And then sometimes they'll have like demonic voices, or like it's a trip. I haven't seen it all. I've actually wanted to. I think I only got halfway through it. But yeah, that's another Rabbits all around, people.
Damn.
Rabbits.
Rabbits.
Have you guys ever read, like, it's been popular for a long time now. Have you guys ever gotten deep into creepypasta?
Yes.
Creepy
I've read
pasta?
so many.
Creepypasta?
No,
You've never heard of creepypasta?
just YouTube it.
Just gonna leave.
YouTube creepypasta.
Like, I first came across and heard of creepypasta from 4chan.
Oh,
is a
there you go,
terrible
Retel. What are you
website.
doing on there?
I said, I haven't been on there in ages. It's terrible. But basically the idea of it is like creepypasta are basically creepy stories and scary stories that have been copy and pasted throughout the web. So there's whole archives on creepypasta. So it's
No, thank
there's
you.
a lot of really good ones out there.
Yeah.
And I chose there's also these ones called just micropasta, which are just
Micropasta.
2 sentences, and that's basically the whole story.
I enjoy those.
And
That's
so
so
I'm gonna go through a list and we're gonna read some.
Yeah,
Right now.
Halloween.
I'm scared now.
Halloween.
I'm just put
Too-
that out there.
Too spoopy.
Dim the lights.
Please,
the lights.
no. No.
There was a picture in my phone of me sleeping. I live alone.
Oh my god. I'm scared. Please, I don't want to cry on the podcast.
Come on, selfies, people. Okay,
I'm
go on.
scared.
Sorry, go on.
My sister says that mommy killed her. Mommy says that I don't have a sister. I don't really understand that one.
That's pretty messed up.
Abortion?
I
Oh
guess
my
so.
God.
Ooh.
Back with the fetus.
Fetus.
It reminds me of the
fetus.
movie The Unborn. Have you seen that?
No.
Watch that shit in theaters.
That's right. That's right. That movie
Back
sucked.
in the day. With Gary Oldman.
That's right. He was in
What are
that
you doing,
movie.
Gary
Dude.
Oldman? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
come on, Gary. You're fucking Gary Oldman.
Gary
Dude.
Oldman, what the fuck is
You
he
stepped
doing,
your
dog?
game up. dude.
Money
The
man.
money that bad.
Fuck you.
Commissioner Gordon, what are you doing? You hear your mom calling you into the kitchen. As you are heading down the stairs, you hear a whisper from the closet saying, "Don't go down there, honey. I heard it too."
Oh my god.
From the closet. What you doing in the closet, Mom?
Because she's spooked, man.
What if she's the one that's calling what's inside the closet?
Oh,
Sorry.
that's
Exactly.
true.
That's why
It
you
could
don't
be-
know.
you
You
don't
don't know
know.
if it's
Stay in
actually
your
mom
room.
calling you and something's creepy in the closet, or there's something creepy calling. Yeah. Anyways, it's
Oh my god.
beautiful. It's a work of art.
I awoke to the sound of the baby monitor crackling with a voice comforting my firstborn child. As I adjusted to a new position, my arm brushed against my wife sleeping next to me. It's pretty good.
Baby snatchers, man. That's nothing to joke about.
Yeah.
Scary, man. That's scary stuff, man.
That's a reality back home, dog. After struggling desperately to move any part of his paralytic body just to alert the doctors that he was conscious before they made the first incision, he was relieved to see that one of the nurses had noticed his pupils dilating from the bright light. She leaned in close and, in a whisper that tickled his ear, said, "You think we don't know you're awake?" Oh, fuck that, dude. That would suck.
Yeah, that
that's
would.
just- yeah.
My daughter won't stop crying and screaming in the middle of the night. I visit her grave and ask her to stop, but it doesn't help.
Man.
So let's
That's
just.
fucked up.
That's yeah.
These are sad, dude.
These are.
Working the night shift alone tonight, there is a face in the cellar staring at the security camera.
Fuck that.
Nope, I'm out. Bye. I don't need this job.
Yo, dude, that was my reality.
What?
Yo, because you worked for a long time as a security
Yeah.
guard. Did you ever see some stuff? You ever have spoopy experiences, man?
Yeah, the graveyard shifts, man. They like almost. Well, I don't want to say almost always, but there was
Every time, holy shit.
Well, there was they were some places were unsettling, but there was one particular site that I worked at, and which I titled the Drummond Mansion, because I was there for 3 nights overnight, and I think those were like my first like graveyard shifts, and I wrote, and again every night was a bit trippy, and at that time, well, the first night I didn't have a cell phone, I hadn't purchased one yet.
Oh my
I
god.
remember those
that.
days.
Yeah, I remember those days.
But then,
Getting a hold of SB was impossible, dude.
so but yeah, I mean I would have this would have been like what, like 4 or 5 years ago maybe. Again, yeah, 5 years ago when I just got started. But anyway, so this is out in UBC area, so this is like rich people, like super rich people, a mansion that's being like constructed. So and that was the site. They're like, okay, just make sure that I was there for fire watch, making sure the place didn't burn down because it was
Sure.
under construction. But of course, anything else to do with security, making sure no one's coming and stealing tools, that sort of thing. So that first night I was there, again, all on my own. There was some lights, but I'm trying to remember what tripped me out. It might have been the backyard that was like pretty big and just dark. But the second day I worked up the courage to like go into the backyard, and so I did. And then towards, as I'm getting closer to it, then I noticed like there was this like weird shed to my right. And then there was this like small wooden like gate, like, you know, just like, you know, up to my waist. And then my mind just like, just traveled where like I went down this gate. And then
Went
like
down the gate.
yeah, well, I you know I went through the gate and down the steps and just
there's
down
steps,
this
okay.
path. And again, this is like, and then like I just envisioned like a lot of people being there and like a bonfire and just like, and I don't know what people were doing down there, but like again, it just like happened so quick, like, and then I was just like kind of like spooked out, and again just thinking like what, like the shed just like seemed so out of place because there was another shed, but this one was just so, and then so that.
So your imagination got the best of you.
Yeah,
type
it
of
really
thing?
did. It totally did. And I mean, and again, well, the first night, because it was my first night, there's just a lot of sounds at night, like a lot of creaking because it's cold and whatnot. So that was a bit creepy. But then the third night, the last night that I was there, just like shadows. Like I just kept seeing like faces, like just, and obviously like not well formed faces, but just like shadows, and as their mouths as if they were moving and just talking. Like it was pretty freaky.
I can't.
Thankfully, I had a PSP on me. That's when I was playing. I was on the Persona 3 grind.
Oh my goodness.
So that kind of, you know, tied me over. But it, you know, it was legitimately creepy, and like it wasn't until like the sun would come out that I would like be at ease. But yeah, those first couple, and I like again, it affected me that like I wrote most of it down as well, like just to like keep a reminder. And I haven't read in a while, so I can't remember all the details.
Ben,
vividly.
you were the one who wanted to come with me to the old shut down psychiatric hospital.
Yeah.
You,
Oh my god.
but you could barely. You were
Yo, I
scared.
handled it, yo. I handled it
It was
alone.
PSP.
I
Yeah,
was
he was
alone.
alone. He was alone.
Okay, it was.
Yeah.
We're
But
both
no,
there.
I wanted us to split up
Why
bad
would
idea.
that's not a good idea.
Okay.
because this
You
was
saw that movie we watched the other day?
Grave Encounters.
That movie sucked,
was,
man.
That movie was bad, but it was that was filmed. That was it called Riverview Hospital, and dude, I legit took this seriously. I'm just like, okay, this is something serious I want to do. Dude, I applied to like the actual people who own the property and all that stuff, but I called and dude, I just got the runaround, man. I could never get permission to go in. Like you could hop the fence and shit and go in,
I wouldn't,
but
yeah.
I wouldn't because there's security guards.
Yeah.
And two, I'm not gonna fucking trespass and post it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Probably not a good idea, dude.
So what I didn't know, because we were there for a day, so I got to go to the review.
Oh, you
it's
did?
Pretty,
Sick.
it's pretty creepy,
Because I know
actually.
Bear has actually been there before. He's worked
Yeah.
on set there before, and and he was with people, and obviously, and they were like shooting, and they went during the daytime and stuff. And he said even then it was creepy as hell.
You know what? I didn't take a whole lot of pictures, to be honest. I think I only took
I think
one.
that's good. Good you did.
You know what? I'll find it. I'll show you guys later.
Okay.
So I had
Send
to-
it, and I'll post it in the video.
And again, but so, okay. So for one, there's a lot of film sets there, so it's not a good
Yeah.
place to jump for sure.
It is 100%.
And second, and I did not know, but it's still working facilities in there.
Yeah, it's just
I
the
had
one.
no
It's just
idea.
the one building that's
Yeah,
shut
it's-
down. The rest of the property, right? There's actual buildings that are still being used.
But yeah, it's being inside. It's impressive. It really is. But it's, yeah, it'd definitely be creepy being on your own there.
I woke up to hear knocking on glass. At first, I thought it was the window until I heard it come again from the mirror.
Oh,
No.
fuck that.
I'm scared of mirrors at night.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
I
turned
cover that
around.
shit.
Yo, like
Yeah.
we got a big ass mirror in our
bedroom
bedroom. We got a big ass mirror in our bedroom, and while we were away on vacation, Lou stayed here, and I come back, and the mirror was like either turned around.
Turn
It was-
around, yeah.
It's like he ain't having none of that
I
shit.
don't play that shit, man. Because
Billy's
you
the
have-
same way.
How the fuck do you? It's literally right next to you, man. And this big ass mirror. Why do you put that there? Okay. Billy's already.
You know why it's there,
Yeah,
dog.
but why do you leave it there at nighttime? You know you're gonna wake up and see some shit in there one day.
No joke. I've never seen
Or
anything.
you'll wake up on the other side.
I've
of the
never
mirror.
I've never been super spooked about anything before, but one night my girlfriend woke up fucking just distraught. Like she was breathing heavily, she was crying, she's like she had I think she may have had like sleep paralysis or something because she
Fuck
said
that shit.
that she saw something and it wasn't a dream or anything like that. She said it was in the room.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's fucked up.
That's fucked.
that spooked the shit out of me. So I tried to comfort her and shit, and we slept with the lights on or whatever. But that's not the first time that something spooky's happened in this house or the next door house, because Billy, I remember having a very similar story about seeing something, some bullshit in his house and then having to sleep with the lights on.
Billy,
That happens to me a lot, actually.
Really?
you do you not get sleep paralysis?
Me? I
I get it like
me.
often.
It was like
Really?
the last time I was here, I told you, like, I was in the bed and then you have this cutlery holder by the sink, and that all of a sudden it just crashed into the sink. Like, crashed into the sink. And there was, like, maybe 2 spoons in there. And it was,
Because
like,
I was about to say, like,
it was set, like, it was, like, standing properly on the side. Like, there was no possible way of it tipping over on its own.
right.
And all of a sudden it just went, and I was like, what the fuck was that?
And there wasn't
I get up and I look. No, Yoga was,
He-
he was
he was
on my
with you.
lap. He was sleeping
And
on me.
he never goes on the kitchen
Yeah.
counter or by the sink.
And so I get up and I'm like, I was this close to just leaving, going home and saying fuck it.
You
But
serious?
I felt bad for Rusty and I was like, okay, I'm gonna man up and
Yogurt
stay
the
here.
cat.
Oh, Yoga's.
Rusty was my cat. Who passed away
Oh.
like 7 years
Rusty.
ago.
And it was Yogurt. So I just stayed and I was just like, I was also like super tired. So I was kind of like, fuck it, I'm gonna man the fuck up. I'm gonna fuck this ghost up.
Yo, you got
Fuck
Billy
this guy.
next door anyways, man. You go sleep at Billy's
Yeah,
place.
but you know, it's still pretty far away. If there's a ghost in the immediate vicinity, it's pretty far away. If there's a ghost standing at your door frame,
You're fucked.
your window's barred, man.
It's true. Well, keep out the intruders, man.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm afraid of people.
But
People.
dude, that's all. I mean,
So you never met a ghost. You can't say that shit.
I mean,
This is my New Year's resolution. A couple of years. Something so stupid and completely out of my control. What's your New Year's resolution? I want to see a ghost.
I want to fight a ghost.
Like,
You
what?
You can go hunting, man.
Yo, you don't want that shit.
I tried, man. I
No.
want to go to Riverview. I was like,
Why?
where can I go? Who has the best chance of seeing some spooky
regret
shit?
that shit.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
no.
No regrets, dude.
I have this.
I
I have
know.
this kid, right? And as I work at Russellville, I work with kids, and there's
Yeah.
this one kid. The other day, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I was teaching the class, and I was like, "Hey, in the spirit of Halloween, let's like tell some scary stories, right?" So we get into it, and I just set up like this light, and I turn off the other lights,
Yeah.
and I could tell like this kid was getting all like he just wasn't comfortable, and like at one point he just kind of like nudged me, he's like, "Hey, like can we stop now?" And I was like, "Are you okay, buddy?" And he's like, it's like, "I have a ghost at my house." And so I was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, all right, yeah." So okay, guys, so yeah, we'll turn the lights on. We'll do something else. And then like we're doing stuff and we're getting the kids to play a game. And then like he comes up to me like later, and he's just like, what did he say exactly? He's like, yeah, there's a teddy bear that follows me at home, and it gets closer to me at night. It's 99 years old. And that's what he said to me. And he looks like, he's just like super genuine. Like he's a kid, and he's just like, you know, like super.
And it gets
like,
closer
you
to
could
him
tell
every
like it
single-
was like he wasn't lying about this,
Yeah.
you know, like he was just like super genuine the whole time.
That's pretty spooky.
And I just
That's
like I didn't know what to
scary.
say to him. I was just like
It's like, man, I screwed up today.
I was like, oh.
Oh.
Dude, what do you say to the kid?
I don't know. But luckily, he kind of just like he walked away after that and like
You didn't
just
help
joined
him?
back into the fun.
Yo, yo,
Like,
yo,
what do I say to that?
Lou's not gonna get involved. Okay, want me to come over and take care of that motherfucker?
I'm gonna
for
call
you?
an exorcist up in this bitch. Like,
Yes.
I got
Yes.
you like that, kid. But it's just
Yeah.
like it was just like caught me off guard. I was like, what the fuck?
And it's only at the end of the day until you realize that kid wasn't in that class at all.
Oh my god.
Luckily, he's been coming by every time.
Yeah, it's freaking little Jimmy here, and then it's like, yo, he talks to his coworkers.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, like, so,
They're like,
it's like, so Jimmy told me this. It's like Jimmy.
Jimmy
It's like,
who?
you mean the teddy bear?
I'd be like,
Oh my god.
Jimmy, Jimmy died 5 years ago.
Oh my god.
Grab bricks, man. You just let it happen. You just force it out.
But my friend Mayumi told me a ghost story that happened to her when she was in Japan. When she
Oh,
was
Japan,
in
dude?
high
Fuck,
school,
I ain't
they went
fucking
like
with that.
they went on this trip or something, and so they're at the place where they're staying, and it's like the middle of the night. Well, not like 2 or 3 a.m. ish, right? Obviously, because that's when the spooky shit happens. And she wakes up and it's just like cold as fuck, right?
Oh shit.
And so she's looking around, everybody's sleeping, and then she like notices like the window is like wide open, and like the curtains are like everything's just wide open, right? And so she's like, fuck, goes to like close it, and then she's like looking straight ahead, and she notices there's like a kid, kind of like, I guess it would be like across the street distance, kind of something like that, and she is like, kid, like, go home, it's late, right?
home.
But the kid doesn't say anything.
Oh fuck that.
No,
And
fuck.
so she's kind of like, okay, whatever. Closes the window and everything and goes back to bed. And she's just like lying there and she's like, there's something off about that kid. And then she like remembered that they were on the 3rd floor. And so she's like, wait a minute. And she goes back out there and like opens everything and like looks out, like the kid's gone, looks down. There's nothing. Right? So basically the kid was like floating in front of her, like
That's fucked up.
a distance away, because they're on the 3rd floor. And she was like, there were no trees where a kid could be standing on or anything like that. And there was just like this kid that was floating there. And I was just like, you talked to a ghost.
Dude,
That's fucked up.
Actually, that reminds me. My dad actually had a story when he was in his younger days in El Salvador. It was late at night, and he was going home from a party, and suddenly this like attractive woman appears, and she was being kind of flirty, and so he played it,
Yeah.
He played along. He was all for it, so he's flirting back, and then but she was always ahead of him, and she kept moving ahead and just tell him to follow him, and so he was playing along, but he could never catch up to her, and like he tried to, but he never could.
That's fucked up, man.
And then next thing you notice, like she turned a corner or something, and then she had somehow like jumped this giant fence, like this big metal gate, like that would have been impossible to jump, and definitely not possible to go through, but she was just there. Time to move on, like to follow him, and at that point he like realized what this was, and he's just like, nope, I'm done.
That's
fucked
up, dude.
That's the ghost that like it leads you off cliffs and shit, man.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
And I can't, and I mean I don't want to, add like, I can't remember if he said it was a cemetery as well.
No.
So again, that's why I was like, I don't want to add to it because I might be wrong. But that might have been a thing too, that like he noticed where, like what it was and just what happened. So
Like on the other side
like
of the
the
fence.
fence,
the other side of the
gate.
fence, the other
Okay,
side
I
of the
see, I
fence.
see.
Like
I
was
got
seven,
I'm
and
scared.
it was just
I got
like,
chills.
I can't,
So
man. My
he was
mom's
just-
superstitious and everything, and I just fucking want to die. I'm just scared.
It's good, man. This is the Halloween episode. That's what it's all
man.
about.
I'm
Fucking creepy as fuck.
See, that should never happen to me,
no.
which I guess is a good thing. But no one in my family, like, we don't have any spooky
Well, now
stories
you
like
know,
that.
if that shit happens to you, don't follow the bitch.
Oh, yeah.
Don't open
Well-
any windows either.
Dude, Windows creep me out.
Well, again, man.
There's no girl that's gonna be following you and then telling you, come here, bro.
like, you come here, bitch.
You come here. What the fuck?
But yeah, man. No, I'm not afraid of ghosts. I'm afraid of people.
Yeah.
Honestly, number one thing. Fuck 'em.
Did I tell you about the hex that my aunt got? My aunt had?
Your
I was like-
your aunt had a hex.
Yeah, she had a hex on her. She couldn't. This happened in Vietnam.
Right now.
I was grade 9, so I was actually old enough to see this shit.
Wait, I think you told me about this.
Yes.
I want to
Yeah.
hear this.
The
Okay,
hex?
So my aunt had a.
Get that mic on there.
Yeah,
Get close.
Come close to the mic.
Oh shit.
So official.
Okay. So back in Vietnam, my aunt, she's a successful businesswoman. This is in 2002, 2003. She was building her empire. I would say empire now. It's pretty big. She was trying to make money, sell some houses. She was in real estate. But it just seemed like she wasn't getting anything done. Like all the deals that she was about to close, for some reason wasn't being able to be closed because something wasn't right. The other buyer always flakes out, and it's just like for the most ridiculous reasons, we're selling this for another not even we're selling this land for something else, or just something wrong with selling it to you. And she's like, what? Why? What's wrong? We agreed to this a while ago. So this streak was happening for 6 months, and she was legitimately losing money and shit. And then she's like, I think I'm cursed. And in my head, my mom told me this. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit, man.
Yeah.
This is a fucking curse. Who the hell's gonna hex you and shit? That day, I was actually in Vietnam when she called the medicine woman, a voodoo lady or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. My mom's like, you shouldn't go down there. Don't fucking watch this. I'm like, oh, this fucking. My mom's like, don't fucking watch it. And and then she's like, I'm gonna leave to your grandma's because she was my grandma. I mean, my grandpa was sick and she wants to take care of him. So I obviously went down and stuck down there. Saw the medicine lady doing all her voodoo wooden shit and all the, how in Chinese horror movies there's always that
Mhm.
Sure.
jumping zombie with little like
Yeah.
what's it called, talismans.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
talisman,
yeah, she was like burning talismans, incense, humming some voodoo shit, some mantras, and she told my aunt to bring 4 eggs, fresh eggs from outside, because they don't put that shit in the freezer or fridge, because fresh eggs are fresh eggs. You put it in
Yeah.
the fridge, you
Right.
fuck them up. So these are the eggs that I actually bought with my aunt or another aunt who lives with us the day before, because I put them there. We didn't use any eggs. We were gonna use them for dinner. So my aunt, the one that was getting hexed and hiring this voodoo lady, brought the eggs over, and she started doing some crazy like burning shit and like talisman shit. Then she stops, cracks the egg with with this wooden sword. The egg didn't it wouldn't. You know how usually when you burst in the egg, like fucking the yolk and
It all spills out.
Yeah, everything
Yeah.
spills out. Nothing. Opened up, piece of paper in there,
Fuck no.
and I was like,
Fuck no.
at that point, I was never superstitious. You know what? Like, you know how superstitious I am. Like when it comes to this shit, I don't fuck with it. Mainly because of this, what happened. I'm like, what the fuck? And she took the paper out, and she's like, it's hexed. Like you were hexed. I'm like, what the fuck? This is like mind blowing, because she did not switch. Like she was wearing no sleeves, whatever. Like she was wearing shorts. It's fucking Vietnam, right? So she's like wearing all like crazy shit, like shorts.
It's just
So
a
there's,
really,
hot.
so there's no way she could have
No way.
swapped it up her sleeve or some shit.
she's a really good
She had no
magician,
sleeves.
dog.
Yeah, they could possibly, but I was like, no, because she was quite far away. She put the eggs right in front, and we were looking at the egg I was looking at the egg the whole time. Nothing would have suggested that she moved it.
She just
can't move it.
palmed one of the eggs like that.
Yeah, I wish. But she has her hands were up, and then she has like a sword, right? So I was looking at the sword. There's no way her hand can read that fast. I was grade 9. I was much quicker. Now I'm like, oh, whatever. She cracked it.
That sleight of
opened up.
hand, man.
No, man, it's the old sword in the egg trick,
I
man.
wish.
Or
Oh,
egg,
yeah,
yeah.
well, sword in the egg trick.
But then the crazy
egg-
story
or
is,
Paper
It's
and
a
paper
sword.
in the egg.
the crazy story, crazy thing is, when she burns it, she's like, okay, it's done. You should be okay in the past, next month. A few months later, she everything started booming. She started selling houses again, able to buy shit, able to expand her land and everything. And I'm like, it could be luck, but seeing that shit,
yeah.
It's very convincing.
don't
it's
blame
very
you.
convincing. And at this point, I'm like, I don't fuck with that spirit shit anymore. Before I was like,
Yeah.
nah.
Superstitious.
Yeah, I wasn't really
Or skeptical, rather.
skeptical. Yeah.
Skeptical.
But now I'm like, don't fuck with this. Don't invite anything in my house. I will fuck you up.
Then let Stevie Wonder's in this house,
We
man.
should get this teddy bear from the
That's
kid.
why I was telling Retel, like, if you end up at that fucking
Riverview?
Riverview place, make sure nothing follows you home, because I'm
Yeah.
living here. I won't play that shit.
Yeah. You don't want to fucking do that shit.
Oh, man.
I'm out.
I remember seeing shit when I was little once.
Really?
I
Tell
did.
us the story, Whitney.
I used to live in a complex when I was younger. So pretty much how it was, we had like a sliding glass door, it was pretty much just all glass, and then we have big windows, and it's like kind of connected to our kitchen. So I was helping my mom cook dinner and stuff. Ugh, even thinking about it scares me. I don't know how old I was maybe 10 or 11. I'm helping her cook, and like if I turn, I can see the outside, like our backyard. And it's fenced off, and like at the end of it, there's like a bunch of trees, a big fence, like no one can go anywhere, right?
Sure.
Because it's all fenced off. So when I turn, I see someone fucking book it, like in our backyard. Like I see someone running, and I was like, the fuck was that? I was like, Mom, did you see that? She's like, see what? And I'm like, I'm gonna go check. So I know everyone in the complex because I live in the complex, and next to us there's a neighbor, and then another neighbor.
Was this in Abbotsford?
This was, yeah.
Oh, there
And so
you
I
go.
run out, and you could hear the doors. It's not like the greatest, housing. And so I run out, and I look, and I don't see anyone. And this girl was wearing like all white, and I was like, what the fuck? And I come in, I'm like, Mom, did you see anyone? She's like, no. And like, if we go like our front door, we can see like we have like kind of like a front parking, and there's one parking for us, one parking for the neighbor, one parking for another neighbor, and then another neighbor. And so I run outside, no cars were there. I was 10,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, what the heck? And so I asked my mom, like, Mom, did you see a girl with like a white dress and everything? Turns out, like later on, a couple of years, I talked to my mom. One of her sisters like died when she was really young, and they buried her in like a white dress. And I was like, and when I told my mom the story, she was like, oh, that might have been her. And I was like, no.
La Llorona, Whitney.
I
La
hope it
Llorona.
wasn't. But like thinking about it, I'm like, maybe it was, or and then I'm trying to like be like, no, this can't be real. But I saw someone run there, and no one can get, because it's all like berry bushes too, because it's all prickly. And I'm like, I even think to this day, I'm like, did I see something, or was it real? Was it not real? I can't, because I ran out, but no one was there. None of the doors are open. Usually, like, you could see people, like. Ugh.
You're just slow.
Maybe. Maybe. That could have been it. But. Yeah. I like to think maybe I didn't see anything, but that shit fucking scared me.
What?
Nothing like that has ever happened to me. It's crazy.
Don't wish that shit on you, man. Don't wish.
Luckily, mine was hopefully family, but.
Right.
Yeah, don't ask for it.
I'm not asking for it. You will accept it when it was my New Year's resolution.
You don't want to see shit.
Okay. I think we're going to wrap up our Halloween episode
Halloween.
of the Top Tier Podcast. This has been episode 69. A bit of housekeeping. I should have actually mentioned this at the beginning of the show. The 24-hour stream for Extra Life for the Chids is happening, I guess when this is airing, it's going to be happening this weekend. So that's November 4th, Saturday. We're starting 5 a.m. Pacific time, going till 4 a.m. Pacific time the next day, because there's a fall back daylight
That's
savings time.
crazy.
So that's actually going to help us out because you had an extra hour of sleep.
Ayo.
So be sure to check it out. I think we need to still decide where we're doing it. If we're going to do it in here or out in the living room, we'll figure it out. Anyways, be sure to tune into that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.
Peace. Bye.